Okay, so we're looking at the tibia. We are looking at the anterior view, of the tibia. And so one pretty easy way to know anterior versus posterior is at the proximal end of the bone, you have this nice big bump. And you can feel that on your own. So go to your shin bone below your knee. You should feel a nice big bump right there. Okay, that's your tibial tuberosity. Okay, so some people, some's big. Sometimes you have almost two bumps. This one's a nice big one. That's your tibial tuberosity right there. Okay. Tibial tuberosity. Okay, now I'm going to kind of angle this up here, so we're looking at the proximal surface here. Notice there's a ridge, and then on either side of this ridge on this top surface, you have these really smooth surfaces here. So the ridge first, I like the name of this ridge. This is the intercondylar eminence. Okay, it's a very fancy word. Okay, intercondylar eminence. Doesn't it sound hoity-toity? It's like when my mom says Nordstrom. Okay, or Nordstrom. Yeah, it's hoity-toity. So intercondylar eminence. Now, how do we know the difference? So both of these are condyles. Okay, articulating with the condyles of the femur. How do we know which one is medial versus lateral? Well, I'll tell you. So, anterior side of the bone, we're just going to slide down here because this picture isn't big enough. Down at the distal portion of the tibia, we have one side of the bone that dips down, obviously much more than the other. So, this is called the medial malleolus. Okay, so this is the medial side of the bone. So I'm going to keep my finger on the medial side of the bone, slide back up, bam. This surface here, can't get it very good, there we go. This is going to be the medial condyle, intercondylar eminence, and then on this side is our lateral condyle. Okay, so if we can just remember that for the tibia, this is the medial malleolus, then you're golden. Okay? So the medial malleolus, if you think about your own ankle bone, it's the inside, what people refer to as your ankle bone, it's that bump right there. So that is actually part of your tibia. That's your medial malleolus of the tibia. All right, we actually have two other structures, the tibial crest and the fibular notch. Tibial crest, okay, in your book, it's called the anterior border. You're going to find it on the anterior side of the bone, so the front of the bone, and it's just the sharp front edge. So feel along the surface of the tibia. Feel how sharp that is. Then feel your shin. It's your shin bone, essentially. That part that you can feel, it's not protected, it's hardly protected at all. You're feeling the tibial crest of your tibia. And since it's not very protected, that's why it hurts so much when someone kicks you in the shin. Because they're kicking you right on this really sharp edge of the bone. Okay, then the last structure, or portion, is the fibular notch, and in your book it's not showing it, so I'm going to show you. So remember, here's our medial malleolus. On the other side of the tibia, if you kind of turn it over, there's this nice smooth kind of an indentation. See, my finger fits in there pretty good. This is the fibular notch. This is where the fibula articulates with the tibia. So I'm going to show you really quick how it should look down here. So medial malleolus, taking the fibula, it fits right into that fibular notch, just like that. And so this lovely structure down here, This is our lateral malleolus. So this forms what we'd call our ankle bone on the outside. So on your foot, on your ankle, that's the lateral malleolus of the fibula. Okay, and so it fits together nice and neat. So you have the medial malleolus to the inside of your, quote, ankle bone, and then your lateral malleolus, and that's from your fibula. So the notch here, that's your fibular notch of the tibia. So always remember to name the bone. Okay, so take the tibia out. Oh, how can you tell the difference between a right and left tibia? Yeah, so you know anterior, right? Anterior has your tibial tuberosity. And then the malleolus is called what? Medial malleolus. So it only can fit on your body one way. So the one I'm holding, this is a left tibia because if I put it here, that forms the inside of that ankle bone, the medial malleolus. Yes?
So like when you feel your leg like right below your knee, how it's like really bumpy, is that what this?
That's your tibial tuberosity. Very good. Okay, so looking at the fibula, nice long skinny weird bone, there's only two structures you really need to know, and it's one at either end. And so telling the difference between the head of the fibula and the lateral malleolus. Okay, so let's see if we can. So the head is a little bit more rounded, and you should be able to see a smooth articulation or a smooth surface at the top. It's kind of flat at the top. It should be smooth, and but it's fairly kind of round or boxy. Okay, this would be the head of the fibula. You go all the way down to the end. We have, so notice we have a nice smooth surface here. This is going to be articulating with the talus, bone of your ankle. So this is your lateral malleolus. Okay, so this is the part that's facing lateral. This is the medial surface. So you don't have to know a lot of surface features for the tibia. Just be able to recognize the difference between the lateral malleolus and the head of the fibula. And I'm feeling nice. I'm not going to ask you right versus left on this bone. This is a tough one. Notice, though, there's a kind of deep ridge in the fibula. It's kind of a weird shaped bone along the shaft, the diaphysis of it. That's where you have that interosseous membrane attaching to the bone there. Okay, so if you see, it's a very kind of irregular structure along the shaft. That's because of that attachment. Did I see a hand?
Oh, I was just going to ask how you know right or left, but if...
I'm going to be nice about it, but if you really wanted to know, this is lateral, so it's going to be facing out. This articulating surface is medial, okay? We go to the head, we kind of have to know. Okay, so the head is articulating on the lateral side of the tibia. So I'm going to show you here if I can get them to fit together just right. Okay, so the head fits in here. So that smooth surface of the head is also lateral. And then we have it fitting together like that. So it's kind of tough. And then the rough surface with that interosseous membrane, that's also lateral. So if it's kind of a tough one, which is why I don't require you to know. So if you know which side is medial versus lateral, and you hold it in just the right position, it should only fit on one side of your body. So if this is lateral, and this is fitting on the lateral side of the bone, this is a left fibula, but it's tough, so I'm not going to require that one. But if you just want to challenge yourself, go for it. Maybe we'll do extra credit if you can figure out left versus right on the fibula. I'll write that down. Okay, we're almost done. And we're just down to the foot. Bam. Okay. So page 156 in your book. And I would say that the tarsal bones are going to be easier than the carpals. Just there's less of them. Or, well, and the naming is a little simpler too. Okay, let's see. So, oops. Looking at the foot, we have this very nice large bone here. What's this one? The calcaneus. And so this is what we would call our heel bone. Okay, so this calcaneus attaches to a tendon, a very famous tendon, the Achilles or the calcaneal tendon. Yeah, so it all has to do with the heel where that tendon attaches. Okay. The bone up above, notice it has a nice smooth surface. This is the talus. This is where your tibia is articulating, and a little bit of your fibula. Okay, very important articular surface here. So calcaneus and the talus. Now we just have these little tarsal bones to go. Okay, so right in front of our talus, we have this bone that looks like it's been smushed. Doesn't it look like it's been smushed? This little smushed bone, like smushed around the talus, this is your navicular. Okay? And then, so this is our calcaneus. So the navicular is smushed in front of our talus. This kind of square cuboid shaped bone in front of the calcaneus is the cuboid. Okay, so it's fairly square. You can see why they named it that. So calcaneus and the cuboid, talus and the navicular. So we have 3 little bones left, and they're articulating with your metatarsal 1, 2, and 3. These 3 bones are the cuneiforms. Okay. So first of all, which side of the foot is this? Medial, and then this side is the lateral. And if you're not sure, you can even look at the toes and go, okay, there's the pinky toe, here's the big toe. What do we call the big toe? Hallux. Okay. So we have 3 little bones here. These 3 are cuneiforms. So this is the medial side of the foot. This is the medial cuneiform. The one in the middle is the intermediate or medial. In your book, it calls it intermediate. Intermediate cuneiform. And then, which one is this one here? The lateral cuneiform. Okay? So, medial, intermediate, and lateral cuneiforms. Okay. These long bones here that form part of the ball of your foot. Okay. These are our metatarsals, and they're numbered the same way your metacarpals and phalanges are in your hand. Okay. So our big toe, our hallux, what number would this whole set of bones be? 1. Haha. Okay, so what bone is this? Metatarsal 1. 3. Right, so you have to name the bone and say what number it is. So let's say even on your quiz today for the hand, if you just say, oh, that's a metacarpal. Which metacarpal is it? Because if you just say metacarpal, it's not the right answer. Because there's 5 of them. So we have to make sure we number them. Always start at the thumb or the big toe, and that's number 1, and then out. to 5. Now, if we're looking at the phalanges for the toe, what does the big toe have in common with the thumb? Oh, I heard something. There's only 2 what? There's 2 phalanges. Which phalanges? What's this one? Proximal, distal. So it's missing the intermediate or middle phalange. Okay? So the big toe is the same situation as our thumb. Okay, what about the other 4 phalanges? What's this one here? Proximal phalange number 2. Intermediate phalange number 2. Distal phalange number 2. Okay, quick question. What kind of bone shape is this dude right here? It's a long bone. Remember, long bones can be very small. Okay. Let's see here. What's this bone here? Proximal phalange number 4. Okay. What about this one? Oh, sorry, just kidding. This one. Okay, good. So just remembering your numbering. Oh, and on top of all that, right versus left. Can you tell me if this is a right or left foot? It's left. So on the hand and the foot, you will not be given like separate little bones. It will always be put together like this. So it should be pretty obvious for you to know if it's right or left, but you still have to say right or left. Okay? That is it for the new stuff.